already at the 3-foot mark. Coming off Lake Erie, it continues to be very steady along I-90, near impossible driving conditions there.
Attorney General Merrick Garland appointing Prosecutor Jack Smith to be special counsel overseeing both investigations involving former President Trump. ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas with more on the investigations that Smith will be leading.
First, January 6th, and whether Donald Trump was personally involved in a potentially illegal effort to block the peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election, and whether those efforts can be tied to that riot on Capitol Hill. The special counsel will also investigate whether Trump committed any crimes with classified documents taken from the White House and found at Mar-a-Lago, and later reports that some of those documents were moved after authorities had requested that they be returned. Allegations of obstruction of justice.
Twitter turmoil.
It is unclear how many people work at Twitter. A week ago, Musk firing half the workforce, around 3,700 people. Still, Musk trying to rebrand the social media platform, tweeting, new Twitter policy is freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach, saying negative and hate speech will be deboosted and demonetized.
ABC's Ariel Reshef. Qatar changes its mind 2 days before the first match. The Persian Gulf nation now deciding to ban beer at the World Cup. Unclear how the edict will affect FIFA's $75 million sponsorship agreement with Budweiser. You're listening to ABC News.
Oil investments involve a high degree of risk, and actual results may vary.
Oil keeps going up as the Russia conflict escalates. Get in on the next major oil boom now and help the U.S. with your patriotic investment that can potentially pay you monthly income for up to 20 or more years. That's the sound of a producing oil well and the sound of a smart investment. If you're an SEC accredited investor, you can take advantage of Encore Energy's projects. The U.S. government needs your investment in oil and is allowing you to write off nearly 100% of your investment in the first year. Goldman Sachs is projecting oil to go up to $100 a barrel. Call 800-278-7455. Call now and learn how to deduct 100% of your investment and create 20 or more years of potential monthly income. Call 800-278-7455. You'll be calling directly to the home office of Encore Energy. That's 800-278-7455.
Russia's attacks on Ukraine's power grid intensify. Millions without power. ABC's Lama Hassan has more from London.
Russia is hitting Ukraine's energy infrastructure, crippling almost half of the country's energy system as temperatures plunge to below freezing. The President Volodymyr Zelensky says 10 million Ukrainians have been left without power.
A big day for the Biden family, a White House wedding. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers has more.
President Biden and the First Lady are hosting the wedding of their granddaughter Naomi today at the White House. Naomi, the daughter of Hunter Biden, is marrying Peter Neal. The couple met while Naomi was in law school in New York. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
So 11 a.m., the ceremony on the South Lawn will begin. Family wedding party luncheon immediately after, and then there will be an evening reception on this very joyous occasion. These are two young people who have decided that they want to spend the rest of their life together. And the President and the First Lady are going to be able to participate in their first grandchild's wedding.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Leaders from around the Asia-Pacific region called for an end to Russia's war on Ukraine and pledged to steer the region's economies toward sustainable growth as they wrapped up their summit meeting Saturday. Host Thailand gathered a diplomatic coup in managing to bridge divisions among the 21 members. This is ABC News.
For all your printing needs this holiday, Staples has you covered.
I need custom printed holiday cards for my one-of-a-kind business.
Staples has you covered.
It's beginning to look a lot like I need custom party invites. Fast.
I need cards for everyone who gave me a hand this year, without spending an arm and a leg.
Staples has you covered with personalized holiday cards and invites. And now save 40% on custom holiday cards and invitations. For everything you need printed, go to Staples, the working and learning store. In-store and online, ends 12/17. Exclusions and restrictions apply.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
It's the time of year to come to NC Tractor for the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors and Bobcat zero-turn mowers. NC Tractor gives fantastic customer service, the best discounts possible, and it's a locally owned business. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue is helping to make outdoor work more enjoyable. Shouldn't you have something that you can be proud of for a long time? Massey Ferguson and Bobcat zero-turn mowers. Come look them over. 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. That phone number is 288-0395.
Lou Gillum in the Blue Room. Your forecast for today is going to be sunny with highs around 55 degrees, partly cloudy tonight, lows around 30. Tomorrow, sunshine, highs again around 50. Clear overnight, lows around 25 degrees. Sunshine for Monday, highs around 50, partly cloudy overnight, lows around 30. For Tuesday, a chance of showers with highs around 55. Still a chance of showers overnight with lows around 35. Then for Wednesday, partly cloudy, highs around 60 degrees. That's your forecast for this Saturday. Have a great day from all of us here at 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherfordton. And for Thanksgiving Day, many of you have the day off, and your day is going to be maybe a rainy day. Chance of showers on Thanksgiving Day with highs around 55 degrees. Still a chance of showers overnight, lows around 40, and if you work for the county or the state, whatever, you also get Friday off. So it's going to be partly cloudy, still that chance of showers with highs around 50 degrees. It was 32 when I came in, and it's still 32 degrees right now at WCAB, where it's time now for our Saturday morning obituaries. Angela Denise Foster Hamilton passed away on Saturday, November the 12th, at the age of 59. Services are incomplete and will be asked by Crow's Mortuary. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory Services in charge of the arrangements for Angela Denise Foster Hamilton. Steve Ball passed away on November the 13th. Arrangements are incomplete and will be asked by Matt Mahan's Funeral Home. An online guest register is available at www.mattmahansfuneralhome.com. Matt Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Mr. Steve Ball. Gary Wayne Buff, 61, of Cleveland County, passed away while at hospice. Survived by his former wife, Anita Hollander of Shelby, daughters Elizabeth Buff of Shelby, Crystal Hoyle and husband Richard of Spindale, Emily Hoyle of Kings Mountain, his grandchildren, also his brothers, Dennis Buff and wife Gail of Shelby, Roger Buff and wife Lynn of Spindale, Billy Buff. Numerous nieces, nephews, and cousins also survive. No services are planned at this time. However, Robert Morgan has an online guest register available at www.rsmorganfsl.com. Robert Morgan Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Gary Wayne Buff, age 61, of Cleveland County. John Douglas Luckadoo, 50, passed away on Tuesday at his home. Survived by his daughter, Nicole Garrow, his grandchildren, his mother, Rosalie Luckadoo, his father, Ronnie Ray Stafford, brothers, Richard Luckadoo, Don Luckadoo.
Thinking about the departure of a...
His twin brother also survives. Johnny Stafford, Stephen Stafford, his sister, Kimmy Lopez, Christina Luckadoo. Other family members include Donald Holman, Becky Smith, Stella Bond, Stafford, Connie Stafford, his nephew and great-nephews. He volunteered with the Sandy Mush Fire Department for 18 and a half years, also worked at Cone Mills for 15. No services are planned at this time, but services may be announced at a later date. The Rutherford Chapel in Forest City is honored to serve the Luckadoo family. Memorial tributes may be made to www.rsmorganfsl.com. Robert Morgan Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for John Douglas Luckadoo, age 50. Larry Searcy, 75, of the Bills Creek community, passed away on Thursday. A native of Rutherford County, he was the founding member of the Bills Creek Fire Department, deacon, trustee, groundskeeper of the Bills Creek Baptist Church. Survived by his wife of 57 years, Frankie Lynn Searcy, sons Dwayne Searcy and wife Lynn, Chelsea Searcy and wife Trish, daughter Janet Dickard Loffridge and husband Joe, sisters Jane Pritchard, Vicky Shepard and husband Bill, his sister-in-law Jeannie Searcy, brother Troy Searcy and wife Kay, grandchildren and great-grandchildren also survive, and a step-grandchild. The family will receive friends from 2 until 3 tomorrow at the Bills Creek Baptist Church. Funeral services will be at the Bills Creek Baptist Church starting at 3 o'clock. Burial will be in the church cemetery. Memorials may be made to the Bills Creek Baptist Church Building Fund at 1221 Bills Creek Road, Lake Lure, North Carolina, 28746. An online guest register is available at www.mattmahansfuneralhome.com. Matt Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Larry Searcy, age 75, of the Bills Creek community. Rob Stranahan, 43, of Henrietta, passed away on Tuesday at Spartanburg Regional. Born in Duckland, Oklahoma, to Teresa Mullins, who resides in Oklahoma. He worked as a cook at Chili's for several years. In addition to his mother, survived by his wife, Jessica Melton Stranahan, his daughter, Kendra, his sons, Dawson Luna, Grayson Stranahan, Maximus Stranahan, sister, Dina Vaughn of Oklahoma City, His nephew, great-nieces, nephews also survived. A memorial service will be held at 3 o'clock on Sunday at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service at the funeral home. An online guest registry is available at www.harrelsonfuneralhome.com. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Rob Stranahan, age 43, of Henrietta. Debbie Tisdale Bowman, 70, of Hickory, passed away on Saturday, November the 5th. She retired from Maiden High School in 2011. A visitation is being held on Sunday from 3 until 5 at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home. A celebration of life will be held on December the 4th, and this will be in Hickory from 4 until 7 at the VFW Post 1957, located at 1615 12th Street Drive Northwest in Hickory. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be made to the Humane Society of Catawba County, the American Breast Cancer Foundation, or the American Lung Association. Online condolences may be made at www.washburndorsey.com. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Debbie Tisdale Bowman, age 70, of Hickory. Charlotte Melton Street, 69, of Ball State, passed away on Wednesday at Atrium Health Shelby. Born in Rutherford County, faithful member of the Mount Lebanon Baptist Church, where she was a pianist, sang in the choir, worked many years at Citizens Federal Savings and Loan, as well as Centura Bank, where she retired. Survived by her sister, Shelba Melton Sinclair of Ball State. Her niece, nephew, great-nieces, and nephews also survived. Funeral services will be at 3 o'clock on Monday. That's 3 o'clock Monday at the Mount Lebanon Baptist Church. Burial will be in the church cemetery. Visitation is from 1:30 until 2:45 on Monday prior to the service. Memorials may be made to the Mount Lebanon Baptist Church at 801 Mount Lebanon Church Road, Bostic, North Carolina, 28018. The family will gather at Charlotte's home on Sunday afternoon for anyone who would like to visit. An online guest registry is available at www.pageantking.com. Pageant King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of the arrangements for Charlotte Melton Street, age 69, of Boston. Troy Briscoe Dalton Jr., 79, of Forest City, passed away November the 8th at the Charles George VA Hospital in Asheville. He attended Cool Springs School. In 1966, he was drafted into the Army, spending 1967 in Vietnam. He worked in the textile industry, opening Dalton's used cars. Survived by his wife Brenda, his son Jeff, and wife Angie of Forest City, his grandsons, step-granddaughter Emma Welburn of High Point, brothers Davy and wife Jan of Concord, Andy of Raleigh, sister Kim of Hickory, and many nieces and nephews also survived. A memorial service will be held at 2 o'clock on Saturday, November the 26th. Saturday, November 26th at the Smith Grove Baptist Church. Burial will be in the church cemetery with military honors accorded by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service at the church. An online guest registry is available at www.harrelsonfuneralhome.com. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Troy Briscoe Dalton Jr., age 79, of Forest City. Nancy Blake Hartley of Rutherfordton passed away October the 31st. She was born and raised in New Hampshire. At her request, her body was donated to science, and to respect their mother's wishes, the children are asking that, in lieu of flowers or cards, please make donations to hospice, Donate Life, or to the First United Methodist Church in Rutherfordton. There will be a memorial service on November the 30th at 3 o'clock at the First United Methodist Church in Rutherfordton. Those are the arrangements being handled by Crow's Mortuary. You can find an online guest registry available at www.crowmortuary.com. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory Services in charge of the arrangements for Nancy Blake Hartley of Rutherfordton. These are the obituaries that we have at this time. Others that come in throughout the day and overnight can be heard tomorrow just after ABC News right here on WCAB. We've got that call-around report coming up. Our Sunday obituaries have been brought to you by Crow's Mortuary and Crematory Services.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
And it's time to start the call-around portion of our morning report. We're starting with the Sheriff's Department, and I was here yesterday. He's here today, too. Good morning, Sergeant Brandon.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Pretty good.
What you got to report this morning?
Past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has answered 181 calls, processed 18 arrests, and currently have 194 in jail. Under our arrest reports, we have a Skylar Dysert, 20-year-old white female, Far City, was charged with possession of Schedule 1, given a $5,000 secure bond. We have a Eddie Dixon, a 44-year-old white male, Morrisboro, charged with 3 counts of failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $1,500 secure bond. We have a Stanley Lefford, 45-year-old white male of Ellenboro, charged with 2 counts of failure to appear on a misdemeanor, given a $2,000 secure bond. We have a Christopher George Wingo, 44-year-old white male of Rutherford, charged with 1 count of abduction of children, given a $25,000 secure bond. We have a Merchant Long, 37-year-old black male of Mooresboro, charged with 1 count of failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $500 secure bond. We have a Tyson Blanton, 26-year-old black male of Far City, charged with 3 counts of failure to appear on a felony, given a $10,000 secure bond. And we have a Gregory Payne, 29-year-old black male of Ballstick, charged with 1 count of communicate threats and 1 count of assault on a female, given a $1,000 secure bond. Under our incident reports, just have one for you this morning. We have a B&E that was reported on Cleveland Road in Ellenboro. Nothing taken in that incident, and that's all we have this morning.
I think probably 100 people did the same thing I did whenever you said abduction of children.
Yeah, so it was actually, I'm familiar with that incident. It was actually that subject's own child, but however, he did not have legal custody of the child.
Okay, all right. That makes me feel just a little bit better.
Yeah.
All righty, Sergeant Brando, you have a great day today. You got to work tomorrow too?
I do.
I probably will be too. So, our jobs are 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Yeah, that's crazy. You wouldn't think that.
I know. You have a good day today, and you have a good day tomorrow too.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
And from the Sheriff's Department, we'll go to 911. Got Amanda on the phone with us this morning. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning.
How are you on this Saturday morning?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. What you got to report this morning?
Well, in the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 443 911 calls and administrative calls, which consist of 54 for the emergency medical services, 181 for the Sheriff's Office, 80 for Forest City, 2 for Lake Lure, 38 for Rutherford, and 47 for Spindale. Ellenboro Fire Department had a structure fire assisted by Ballstick, Cherry Mountain, and Forest City. Forest City had a residential fire alarm. Rutherford had a fire investigation and a brush fire. Sandy Mush had an illegal burn and a motor vehicle crash, and SDO had an investigation and a motor vehicle crash, and that is all.
Thank you, Amanda. Y'all have a great day today.
You too.
Bye-bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
And now we head to Fairfield and get the report from Gary Wilson. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Pretty good.
I'm getting a feedback off something. I don't know what it is, but anyway.
I don't know what that is.
All right, there we go. I think I figured it out. There we go. Somebody had, last night they had a button on it that shouldn't have been on. All righty.
Some gremlins got in the computer, I guess.
Oh, yeah, they run all over this place. What you
got?
We're
a little chilly this morning, not as bad as yesterday, but sitting on about 29 degrees. I think we got on down to about 25 yesterday. But it's going to be colder again tonight, so a little cold snap here. At least we're not getting 5 or 6 foot of snow after getting to Buffalo, New York. So.
Oh, man. Hamburg last night, when I left yesterday, when I started the report yesterday, they were at 2 feet. And then by the time I got through at 8 o'clock, they were at 3 feet. And, yeah, you're right. Last night they were at 5. That's something else.
They can have every bit of that stuff. That's just too much. But we've been quiet overnight, no calls or anything, and got one announcement today over at the Bills Creek Clubhouse. They'll be having their annual turkey supper, and all the trimmings for $15 for adults and 6 and under free, and it's unraffle tickets on a lot of good prizes for the fire department. So get over and get you something to eat, win your big prize, and go home and get out of the cold.
Yeah.
That's about all we got up here, Lou. Everything else going on pretty good.
All right, Gary, you have a good day and a good rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you again on Monday.
All right, see you then.
All right, bye-bye.
It's the store folks in Western North Carolina depend on. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply. It's like a superstore. Deer corn, $11.05 for 50 pounds. Cob corn, $10. They have plenty of deer plant supplies. Check on the lower prices on propane, $12.99 for a 20-pound tank. Mulch, gravel, rocks, and supplies for beautiful landscaping. That's available at Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply at lower prices. Open Monday through Saturday. If you want a feed and seed store that carries so much more, including new and used farm equipment, then come on over to Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply, 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton. And we're going to head down to the Bostic area and check in with DeVern Upton on this beautiful Saturday morning. Good morning, DeVern. One more button. There we go. Good morning, DeVern.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great.
All right. What you got to report this morning?
Over here in Bostic, it's 30 degrees, very cold. Fire department had no calls, but there will be some of them at the department this morning doing different things. Don't forget to go by Washburn store and check their items out. They have their Christmas candy in and all. And stop in at the drop-in there on Bostic Sunshine Road and check their meat department and deli out. And I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe weekend.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be start traveling. So
yes,
yeah.
They are.
Yeah, so
It'll be a busy week.
It is. It is. My first job was at a convenience store, and I could tell when people are traveling because, especially when the people came from up north down here,
right.
they started packing up that liver mush and taking it back with them.
Yeah, because they don't have it up there, do they?
No, they don't. They'd come in and they'd buy every bit of liver mush. I'd have to call Shelby and tell them, can y'all bring us some more liver mush?
That was good, though, wasn't it?
Yes, it was good. And the liver mush was good, too.
Oh, yeah, I love liver mush.
I do, too. I like to fry it and put a little bit of Duke's mayonnaise on my bread and go to town.
Go to town.
That's it. DeVern, you have a good day today, and we'll talk to you Monday.
Okay, thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
And we head down to the Cherry Mountain area, and we got Sue Price this morning. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Lou.
I got 32 degrees. You're always colder than I am.
I don't know what I got. I hadn't looked at that.
Don't want to stick your nose out the window to look?
No, it's been cold all night. Oh, me. Well, we're going to have some cold weather now. It's winter time. Yeah. So all the holidays coming up, just a lot to look forward to. Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. I guess they've been quiet. Don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar today. Or on my personal calendar. I do have one on my personal calendar. I got an anniversary for on Sunday for Jim and Faye Bishop. How about that?
Wow, they've been married forever. I think they were babies when they got married.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, let's see. Fairview's got a birthday for today for Jasper Yelton. I believe that's the only one they've got. So we hope he'll have a good day today. And in first spot, let's see if they've got anything. Got one for Keith Towery. And then tomorrow for Stephen Smith and James Hackett. So we hope all those people will have a good day and a happy birthday. And in my announcements, the annual Thanksgiving service, joint Thanksgiving service, will be held at First Broad Baptist Church, and that'll be on the 23rd at 7 p.m., so all the churches are invited. And then on the 27th, the Piney Mountain Boys will be at the morning worship service at Duncans Creek Church, so look forward to that. And so far, that's the only announcement I have, Lou. It's just quiet and calm, looking for a good day and a good weekend, and I hope you'll have one.
Well, I will, and Thanksgiving's coming up next Thursday. I can't believe we're already here.
You know, there is a lot of misleading information about Medicaid eligibility.
Bye-bye.
The Arledge Law Firm would like for you to know the truth. For instance, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your home. That's not true. Another one is, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. Again, not true. And this big one, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. Not true, not true, not true. Call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Kent Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm and get free consultation and learn the truth. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify for nursing home care and not lose everything you own. It's worth a call to Arledge Law Firm at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherfordton.
Coming up on 28 minutes past 7 o'clock, and I am now in the Shingle Holler area. I got Tina on the phone. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning, Lou. You got it by yourself again this morning, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
Up here in Shingle Hollow this morning, it is 32 degrees. Sun shining bright again. It's going to be a beautiful day. Covered in frost again this morning.
Not a bit.
I haven't heard. Yeah, is there not?
No.
I hadn't heard from the fire department, so hopefully they were all quiet in the past 24 hours. Have a birthday today for Caleb Gullery and an anniversary for Stanley and Wanda Mills. Oh, I've got a lot of birthdays today. Miss Candy Owens and Pam Smith, Branson Binfield, Marie Bumgardner, and Angel Ramsey. So it's a big day for birthdays. Everybody, I hope they have a great birthday. And then tomorrow is Martha Cersei's birthday. So if you know any of these people, tell them happy birthday. And for announcements, this Wednesday, the 23rd at 7 p.m., Piney Knob Baptist Church is hosting the community Thanksgiving service. There will be light refreshments and a message. And it's a good, this is my favorite service because we get to get together for the whole community. I'm looking forward to that. And that's all I have right now.
All righty, Tina. Well, you have a great day today, and we'll be talking to you again Monday morning.
All right.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there.
And it's 7:30. And we're at the freezing mark. It's 32 degrees, but I'm sure up on that big mountain where Brenda Kelly's at, it's colder than that. We're in Union Mills. Morning, Brenda.
Good morning. How are you on this super sunny Saturday morning?
Hey, now that's a mouthful.
Yeah. I'm just glad I could say it.
And not spit your teeth out in the meantime?
That's exactly right.
I've done spit mine out twice this morning almost.
You're talking about teeth. Did I tell you what that heart doctor asked me when I had to go back? I don't know, it was a month ago. He said, let's see your teeth. He said, are they yours? I said, yes, I bought and paid for them when I was 34 years old. I thought he would die laughing.
Yeah, I own them.
Yeah, they're mine. But we hope everybody's doing good this morning. I've got 24 degrees on the front porch.
Wow.
So it's cold, yeah. I don't like it this cold, but it is. But at least we ain't got 5 feet of snow.
Oh, I know. I keep the Weather Channel on watching because I hate them people in New York getting some snow. And I don't want that much, but I would like to see a good one.
Yeah, just one good one, and then get on with the program.
Yeah, and they showed a car, and all you could see, I don't know whether the person, maybe they run off the road and they left the car, or they just pulled it off because they couldn't drive it any further, but the snow had the car totally, completely covered, and they turned on their emergency flashers so somebody would know that car was under there.
Well,
the snow was piled up all the way up to the driver's window and beyond.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Golly, I can't imagine that much snow. I know when I believe it was in the 10th grade, and it snowed every Wednesday, and it was, I've got a picture somewhere of me sitting on a snowbank down on it's Spindale Street now, but it used to end up at the top of the hill, but and I was sitting on that snowbank, and it was just as hard and froze as could be, and I can't remember how many inches we had, but it was a bunch of snow.
Wow.
I can remember that. I had fell and slid down that bank and had scratched my chin, and my cheek, and I had a Band-Aid on it.
Did Spindale Street not go all the way down like it does now, past Charlie Black's house? Or did
it did, but it wasn't Spindale Street. That was the county.
Oh, okay.
It stopped up at the top of the hill.
Oh, okay.
And I can remember when it was a dirt road, and it used to go, instead of the way that it goes now, it used to go in behind that patch of woods right there. You know where we live down there, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, right there. If you're going toward Whiteside Road, you'd go to the right and go around that little patch of woods and come out down there between the Sheehan's houses.
Oh, okay.
See, I'm an antique. I know all this stuff. But anyway, we hope everybody's having a good morning. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries today, but tomorrow I want to wish Jim and Faye Bishop a happy anniversary.
Yep, happy anniversary.
Yeah, and hope they have a good one. And in ways of announcement, Thanksgiving blessings, free meals, first 100 people, Thanksgiving Day, November the 24th at 12 noon at 257 East Main Street, Spindale. This is the Old Crane service station spot. First come, first serve. And other than that, I don't have anything going on.
They're showing a picture right now. They're showing a section of New York where the sun's coming up.
Yeah.
And you know how beautiful it was that day that we got the snow last winter? The sun came up, looked like the sky was on fire.
Yeah.
Red sky in the morning, sailor take warning. That's
right.
Exactly what it looks like. It looks like half of New York's on fire where the sun's coming
Oh,
up.
my goodness.
That's beautiful.
I bet that's pretty.
It
Did
is.
they ever find out who got killed in that tractor accident in Shingle Holler?
I looked online when I came in this morning, and I didn't see anything anywhere. It may be somewhere on maybe one of the news, I don't know, I couldn't find it, and I don't have a subscription to the Daily Courier, and I didn't have time to stop because I was in a hurry trying to get here.
I don't have one neither because it got to where it wasn't a whole lot in it. I hate to say that, but that's how it was. I used to take it, but I don't. I ain't took it in years. For one thing, they couldn't keep a paper carrier up here, and we'd go for a week and not get one, and then they'd pile them all in there at one time.
I always liked Shelby Daily Star because it's not even. I don't even see it on the Daily Courier website.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I don't even see that. But if you are looking, they're talking about looking for a missing teenager. He has been found. That Carter Hughes,
good.
he was found, so he's safe and
good.
back home again. So
ain't it awful that these teenagers put their parents through such stuff as that? And the world's so mean anymore. If they don't come home, you worry yourself to death.
Yeah.
I know little man, of course, he ain't no teenager. He'll be 30 years old his birthday. But lots of times, like one day this week, he said, Nandy, do you care if I take the car and go over to Kevin's? That's his stepdaddy, and he lives in Shingle Holler. And I said, no, go on. Well, he never come home. And the next morning, yesterday morning, he still wasn't home. I thought, where is that young'un? But he come in not long after I got through with the morning report. And he'd come back and spent the night with his cousin. So I said, it'd be nice if you pick up the phone call and say, Nanny, I'm so-and-so.
Has he not got a cell phone?
Huh?
Has he not got a cell phone?
No, not right now, he don't.
Oh, okay.
He's not working right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, he quit driving the truck?
Yeah. He said people was crazy out there. He quit that about 7 or 8 months ago, and he ain't had a job since.
I wouldn't want to drive a truck either.
Well,
people driving crazy out there, and I'm one of
that's
them.
That's what he said.
But
he
I'm
said
one of
was
them that's out there driving crazy.
It was awful. But I guess you better go to Ellenburg and check on Luther Sweet thing and see if everything's all right down there. And you have a good weekend.
All right, you too.
Okay, catch you later.
All righty.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Thank you, Christian. It's 7:38, and last stop we're in Ellenboro. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning, Luther. I hope you're having a good day.
I am. It's a beautiful Saturday morning.
It is. It's a beautiful morning.
Mm-hmm.
A little cool, but hey, it's nice.
Oh.
You know, you're sitting inside drinking coffee.
Yeah, I just finished mine. Wish I had some more, but I'll wait.
Well, I'm drinking mine now. And I'm inside. But it's quiet there this morning. Not a whole lot going on. The fire department had one call yesterday. And other than that, it's quiet. We're going to have a big fiddlers convention going on there this evening, huh? That'll start at 6 o'clock over at elementary school in New Hampshire, Panama Road. Everybody's invited in. It starts at 6 o'clock. The doors open at 5. So everybody's invited. Just come on out and have a good time. Lou, you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, Luther, you too. Bye-bye.
Sure enough.
Well, we've made it from the Sheriff's Department all the way to Ellenboro on this beautiful Saturday morning where it's 32 degrees right now under sunny skies. And, you know, we talk a lot about New York and all that snow. I've never seen in my lifetime, I'm 62, and I've never seen anybody get 5 feet of snow just within a couple of days. 5 feet of snow since it started falling on Friday. That's unbelievable. And the ball game, if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, they had to move that ball game to Detroit, play it in Detroit because the field's got 5 feet of snow on it. I've never heard of moving a ball game. In football, you play like the mailman. Snow, sleet, rain, sunshine, clouds, whatever. They had to move that game. Coming up on 20 minutes before 7 o'clock, if you got a birthday or anniversary in, you can go ahead and call that in at 287-3356. 287-3356. We'd love to announce it for you. Let everybody know you're having a birthday or an anniversary today. 287-3356, number to call.
Robbins Painting Carpet has become the friend to folks who do their own work around the house and friends of the professional. Robbins Painting Carpet is the headquarters for Benjamin Moore Premium Quality Paint. It goes on easily and beautifully the first time, every time. Save yourself some time. Do it right the first time with Benjamin Moore. Robbins will provide expert help and advice to make every project a success. Call on Jim and his team for refinishing floors to Robbins Painting Carpet across from Quality Inn in Forest City.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Happy birthday.
Well, celebrating a birthday today, Jerry Michael Smith Jr. celebrating a birthday today. Daddy calls him Michael, or we call him Junior, whichever. Jerry Michael Smith Jr. celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday. Jim and Faye Bishop will be celebrating their wedding anniversary tomorrow. I'm not even going to try to guess how long they've been married. They got married when they were just babies. 14 minutes before 8 o'clock, we're going to have to say goodbye to our folks who are watching us by streamer, but we'll be back at 8 o'clock, bring you back at 8 o'clock to join us for Gilbert Talks Taxes, and then right after Gilbert, it's the Dr. Bob Health Show. And then we've got Tar Heel football coming up 3:30 today for the pregame show, 5:30 for that kick, and then tomorrow it's James Madison and the Tar Heels, 10:30 for that countdown to tip off, but we won't join that game until tip, just a little afternoon tomorrow right here on WCAB. So bring you folks back in just a minute. FM 590 AM, WCAB Rutherford. Our forecast for today is going to be sunny with highs around 55, partly cloudy tonight, lows around 30. Sunny tomorrow, highs around 50. Clear overnight, lows around 25. And from Monday, sunshine, highs again around 50 degrees. Right now, 32 degrees, sunny skies at WCAB.
That was the International Morse Code Signal, and that marks the beginning of my program, Gilbert Talks Taxes, because as we all know, taxation with representation has not been such a good idea either. And folks, it has not. Good morning, my name is Gilbert Carmona. I am here live at WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9. Those of you live streaming me, www.wcab59.com. I am an enrolled agent. An enrolled agent is a person enrolled with the IRS. What that allows me to do is represent taxpayers in all kinds of matters, difficulties, audits, problems that you may have. I also prepare tax returns. I'm also a financial planner. I do investments, portfolio management, all kinds of things. I've been on this program now for 8 years, been doing this. And I want to thank all my listeners as we're coming to the end of another year. I want to thank everybody, but I got to tell you something. I'm here today with a very, very heavy heart because of a lot of the things that are going on in the financial world. And the strangest part about it is that nobody really seems to understand what just happened. I'm specifically talking about FTX, the cryptocurrency brokerage house. Well, first let me give my information out. I have 3 offices. I have one in Forest City, 704 Oak Street. That's our main office now. We just moved in May. The former Carter Bank building right next to Big Dave's Fish Camp in Forest City. I still have my office at 113 Whitesides Road in Rutherfordton. And, of course, we have our Tryon location at 226 South Trade Street, the beautiful Art Deco building right off the historic Tryon downtown. I had prepared my program. So the program is Gilbert Talks Taxes. But those of you that have been listening for 8 years know that it's Gilbert Talks about whatever Gilbert wants to talk about. Gilbert talks wealth, Gilbert talks life, Gilbert talks Jesus, Gilbert reads the Bible, Gilbert reads tax code. One of my clients said, I listened to your program and it's very interesting. I never know what you're going to talk about because eventually you bring it back to taxes. He said, but you read the Bible and then you read tax code. He said, and you sound so cheerful doing it. He said it was really an interesting hour, and I thanked him for that. And it's my program. I just share my heart. I started the program because I want to educate people about taxes. It's our only contact with government for most people. Now, people that collect Social Security, you get a Social Security check from the government. Most people that might get some kind of government aid, we vote. We might interact with local government. I mean, we all get electricity. Although, if you're getting it from Duke Power, it's really not the government. But in Forest City, it's the town of Forest City that manages their utilities. And other towns, too. Spindale also, right, Lou? Mm-hmm. Lou, my engineer this morning. Good morning, Lou. Good morning. Glad to have you here with me.
Yeah, thank you.
That was a surprise when I walked in, and there you were. I was expecting the ever-cheerful Tom to be here. No, it's fine. I'm happy to have you. So, the town of Spindale, the town controls their utility, correct? So it is the connection that most people have with the government, and probably the biggest connection is they have with the IRS. So I wanted to educate people, start the program to educate people, and just and really have people know me, because I'm not just a tax preparer. Yes, I prepare your taxes, and it's gotten more and more complicated. We're having our staff meeting. We meet every Wednesday morning. Now, this last Wednesday we did it in the afternoon because we had a Zoom call with one of our software vendors, and it was a great call we had with Becky. She's always very, very cheerful and a good trainer. She taught us a lot of what we're getting ready to get into with next tax season. But we have a meeting once a week, and I told the staff, who would have known 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, the direction tax law would have gone and the things that would be happening. I mean, look at with Obamacare. We now not only prepared tax returns, but by the way, we're not supposed to call it Obamacare. It's the Affordable Care Act, but they still call it Obamacare. We're supposed to not only prepare a tax return, but we're also supposed to ask intimate health questions about the people's health insurance and things like that, which is something we never got into. I mean, tax preparers are not qualified to give advice on health insurance, yet here we are giving advice on health insurance. Here we are giving advice on all kinds of things that we had no business giving advice on. And where am I going with all this? Well, just sit tight. Just wait. This is all going somewhere. Because I want to set this up. I want to set this up properly, because what just happened is as big or bigger than the stock market crash of 1929. Okay, I'm just going to let that sink in a minute. I don't think there are too many people alive right now. I mean, there could be. They'd be 90, let's say if somebody was 5 years old, so they were born if somebody was born in 1922, they would have been 7 years old. So there are some 100-year-olds. I mean, my two oldest clients, one was 103 and the other one was 104. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Marie was sharp all the way till the end. She made it to her 103rd birthday, and it was like, okay, I'm done, everybody, because everybody wanted her to make it to 100, and I remember that was a big deal. She made it to 100, and it was like, okay, another year, and I think when she turned 103, I think that was it. She just, like they do in the Bible, they called everybody in and said, okay, everybody, I'm done. I've run my race. Goodbye. And she just literally passed away in her sleep peacefully at 103 in like a month. My other oldest client was 104. And same story. She literally, and I saw her, I did her tax return when she was 103, went over there to her house to have her sign it. She lived alone until she was 103. She had caretakers and she had people. She was in Tryon. She lived, but she lived in her own house. I shouldn't say alone, because she did have lots of friends and lots of family, and she lived in her own house till she was 103, and then had some health issues. So she had just gone into assisted living, not even a full nursing home, assisted living. And I went and saw her to sign, because she signed her tax return. So both of them did, actually. It was funny. Oh, yeah, both of them. The one she even wrote her checks to the IRS and to North Carolina and to the DOR. She wrote her checks. So anyway, so I went and saw Marie and said, Marie, how are you? She had just turned 103. And she said, Gilbert, look how they're treating an old lady. Do you believe this? And I said, oh, Marie, this is a nice place. And she said, it is. I don't want to complain. And she was all worried that her nephew, who was her custodian, had paid me. Did Richard pay you, Gilbert? If he didn't pay you, you let me know. I said, no, Marie. Richard's taking good care of me. He's taking good care of you. Don't worry about it. And Marie made it to 104. So there could be people alive that still remember the stock market crash. But for the most part, there aren't too many. It happened October 28th, 1929. And that's a day that we use. But much like the housing bubble crash that we just experienced, and I say just, it was recent enough, it's really a series of ripples that that goes through the, I'm trying to say reverberates. Thank you, Lou. Reverberates. Lou's mouthing it with me. That reverberates through the economy. And there's a hiccup, and the stocks lose 20%, and then it bounces back, and everybody's like, well, what was that? Oh, we really need to be looking at these collateralized debt obligations. They're a little shaky. What about it? And then so 2005, then 2007, and 2008, and 2009, boom, it implodes. And then we still had issues in the stock market, through 2011. So it's not this, everything's fine, where everybody's making money, and then all of a sudden, oh, by the way, we just lost 40% of the stock market. But we use that date, October 28th, 1929, famously known as Black Monday. And it seems like there's all kinds of those. There's Black Monday, there's Black Friday, there's Black Thursday. I'm sorry, Black Tuesday. I think, yeah, they're never like happy colors. They're never like Teal Thursday. It's always black something. So there was a series of those. Stock market totally tanks. Depending on what criteria you're looking at, the stock market lost anywhere from $1 billion to $10 billion. Okay? And then if you look at the fact that, let me look at, there's a very interesting number. Let me go back. There's an interesting number of how many farms were lost. It's estimated that, and I know these numbers because how, back then they really didn't have the data gathering capabilities we have today, but these numbers are accurate enough for governmental accounting, as we like to say. But 9 million savings accounts were completely wiped out in a 3-year period. That means zero, all money gone, and an estimated 1 million family farms, it's just a rough number, were repossessed. Okay? 9,000 banks closed in the closures. I mean, I know everybody has seen that movie, It's a Wonderful Life. And that's what happens in that stock market crash is central to the plot of that movie. And in that movie, they stay solvent because they had $2 left. And I know it was, they take a lot of liberty in these movies, but there were banks that literally stayed solvent. Number one, they didn't close their doors. Most banks closed their doors, and that immediately made them insolvent. And because you have to stay open, it's federal regulations. That banks cannot be more than 3 days closed. That's why they move so many federal holidays to Monday, and that's why they do all that. So banks that were insolvent, there were literally banks that had dollars left. And then, of course, the next day, the president declared an emergency, Black Tuesday. The president declares an emergency, lets all banks close that day so that everybody could regroup. And then we all know J.P. Morgan came in and bailed everybody out. Okay, so that's just the nutshell of the stock market crash, and it went on all the way to the beginning of World War II. And we can have an academic argument about what brought us out of the Depression. Roosevelt's programs did not bring us out of the Depression. Okay, I'm emphatic about that. I've had this discussion with people. They say, no, his programs and his Great Society, his New Deal and all this other stuff brought us out. No, that did actually, I'm going to tell you, that hurt us in the long run. It was a lot of things that were quickly put together, that were put in place, and it was just a bunch of government spending. When COVID happened, this is what I said. This is 1930 all over again. And look where that got us. We've got outdated programs that just haven't worked, don't work. Lyndon B. Johnson picked them back up. They didn't work then. They didn't work for him. They don't work now. Okay, so what brought us out of the Depression was that thing called World War II. We geared up to get into a war. Every industry got fired up. Okay, so whatever history will work all that out. Okay, so I gave you all that nutshell to fast forward now, and I'm trying to really do this on the cuff. I had a whole PowerPoint ready for today of what I was going to talk about, and I'm not even opening it. This is this crucial. Okay, so Tuesday, November 8th, when we had an election going on, and that pretty much took up all the vacuum, a company called FTX. Now, most of you have seen it in advertising. I mean, Tom Brady. FTX is sponsoring Ferrari and Mercedes-Benz in Grand Prix racing. As a matter of fact, Mercedes-Benz right now is without a sponsor down in Brazil because FTX had committed so much money to their sponsorship. So FTX filed bankruptcy. FTX was the second largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world in one day. And we have no idea how much, because so much of it is just on paper and it just was fraudulently created. So it just really depends who you ask right now. The bankruptcy attorney is trying to figure it out, but in one day, it's estimated, and I mean, it's like pick a number. They lost anywhere between 10.5 billion and 26 billion. Was literally wiped off the books of this company. So you can say, oh, well, okay, so they lost this money. No, this was a cryptocurrency exchange. All of this money was investor money. The Ontario Teachers Fund had almost $100 million in here. And we're just finding the list now. It's just all coming out now. So while this happened, while our elections were going on, and it's a single man named Sam Bankman-Fried, who ran all this, filed bankruptcy, and literally has wiped out, like if he was a nation, he would have been in like the top 10 lists of wealth. And what came out is that all of this was fraudulent. None of this existed. So why aren't you hearing more about this on the news? Well, you are, right? I mean, this is coming across the news cycle. What's happening is that nobody really understands it. This is so complicated. This is so over the top. Most people don't even understand what cryptocurrency is. So I'm going to get back into some of this. There's a couple of other scams I'm going to talk about also. But I'm going to get back into this. I'm going to talk about this. And people say, what does that have to do with taxes? Oh, a lot. If you've been listening to my program for the last 3 weeks, I have been talking about the IRS trying to get their hands around cryptocurrency. Virtual currency is what they're calling it, because of letters that are going out. People are calling me. I'm getting these letters. What do they mean? So I've been talking about it. And people in the office yesterday were saying to me, as we were talking about the story, they said, how did you know? I didn't know. I just go with my gut on a lot of things. And a lot of things I really pray about what I'm going to talk about. And all for 3 weeks I've been on this, and here this happens. Let's go ahead and take a break. The program is Gilbert Talks Taxes, Gilbert Talks Life, Gilbert Talks Wealth, Gilbert Talks Crypto, Gilbert Talks a lot of things. WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9.
This is Kimberly. If you owe the IRS for prior years or you have unfiled tax returns, don't call those national toll-free numbers. Affordable, secure, and local help is available for you. Call Gilbert at 828-289-9300. Gilbert is an enrolled agent permitted to practice before the IRS. Taxation is his specialty. He knows the latest laws to help you with your problem. Avoid garnishments, levies, and liens. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert at 828-289-9300.
Hi, I'm Sandra. My husband Peterson and I own Precision Detail and Tint. We invite you to come to our new location at 620 U.S. Highway 64, Rutherfordton, on the corner of Silvers Lake Road and Highway 64. Whether you need specialty detailing for your car, RV, or boat, or window tinting for your automobile, or home or business, we can help you. Voted Best of Rutherford County for 11 straight years, you will know you will get quality work at a good price. Stop by for an appointment or call 828-245-8889. We're open Monday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 1.
As we get ready for this year's tax season, there's one thought on everyone's mind. Will Gilbert's hair look fabulous this year? Oh, yes, it will. How can I say that? Because I go to Robin Saunders at RSL Salon. Whether it's a good haircut, a pedicure, or a manicure, you can count on RSL Salon. Call Robin at 828-289-9110 because everyone deserves to look fabulous.
Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not going to be a tax show. People that are talking about I'm getting texts from people, and some people knew about this. Some people are astonished. The "how did you know" text. Well, I didn't know. All I know is I've never traded in crypto. My back office does not believe in crypto. The back office is who handles my trades on the investment side. I'm connected with two, an RIA and a broker-dealer, and we do not. Cryptocurrency is the hard sand, line in the sand that we don't cross. We just don't get into it. We don't do EFTs. We don't do that. And I've had people say, "Oh no, I want to invest in it." It's everybody's making money, Lou. We're making money. I got a friend who's made $1 million, zillion, billion, trillion dollars on cryptocurrency. I said, well, then go trade where your friend trades. I'm sorry. And then yesterday we were talking about the crypto crash, because this really is this going to end crypto? No. Virtual currency is not. This isn't going to put an end to it, cryptocurrency. But this definitely took whatever little wind was in cryptocurrency's sail. This really took a lot of it out, where people are all stepping back, going, this really wasn't a good idea. I don't want to get off track, because this is a subject. For those of you tuning in just now, I was talking about what happened with the company FTX. Many of you have heard, most haven't. Most media outlets don't even understand it. I've listened to the stories. Being a person who's been around technology, I built my first computer, by the way, in 1984, Lou. Wow. I was 24 years old. Well, you couldn't afford one. I mean, a computer, even an Apple, which when you look at those today, those were dinosaurs. But we thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Even an Apple back then was around $4,000. I mean, a printer was $1,000. So if you did your work and you wanted to print a hard copy, I mean, God forbid you would want to do that. It would cost you, it was $1,000 for a dot matrix. You remember those with the track paper? The paper came in a box with little holes on each side? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And so I took an Atari 800, which was a gaming computer but had a keyboard built into it, and modified it and turned it into an 8088 a word processor, so I could type letters. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't afford a monitor, so I took a 19-inch television set. Had I known that I could have blown my arm off with the cathode tube, I probably wouldn't have done it. But, when you're 24, you're not very smart, which is going to be a nice tie-in right to back where I'm going. People ask, how did this happen? It was a bunch of children. All these cryptocurrency billionaires are literally children. They are in their 20s. Yeah, am I calling a 20-year-old a child? Yes, I am. As far as world experience goes, this man, so they're blaming it all on this one man, but it's not just him. He had an entire entourage of people. He did not operate in a vacuum. His name is Sam Bankman-Fried. As one of my listeners just texted me, his new name is Sam Bankman-Fraud. So he just turned 30. So he was a billionaire. He was worth, of course, it was all on paper. None of it was real. He was valued at $16 billion just 6 months ago. All of this was created on paper. But all the investors that put their money into it. So let me back up. Let me take a few steps back. Because during the break, Lou and I were talking about it, and I just went right into it. Let me take a few steps back. I always share the scripture in the Bible in Isaiah about, does anybody ask what this thing I'm holding in my right hand, is this a lie? And I always share the scripture about Pontius Pilate looking at Jesus right in the eyes. I mean, he was face to face with Jesus, and he said, what is truth? And he was staring truth right in the face. But nobody says, is this thing that I'm doing right? Is it true? Does it have God's approval? Do people even pray about it? There's another scripture in the Old Testament that says you're deceived by your own consent. So and most people know they're being deceived. I'm getting ready to share a story in the next section about I helped somebody who was literally almost scammed $4,000. And fortunately, somebody in the business had the idea to say, somebody call Gilbert? Gilbert really knows about this stuff. And can somebody pick up the phone and call Gilbert? They were literally going to wire $4,000. Not only were they going to wire $4,000, they had already ordered a bunch of materials to fill this order, that the whole thing was a scam. The whole thing was a scam. But why could you get scammed? There were so many red flags. So you're deceived by your own consent. They wanted it to be true. They just wanted it to be true. That's the only thing the only answer to why would all these investors, and some of these investors are seasoned, hardcore investors, give them this money. But the Bible, it's all over the Bible. Stop, inquire of God, pray to God. He will help you. He will show you. His hand will be there for you. Isaiah 41:13. I am the Lord your God who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I will help you. I mean, it's a promise. Why do we not stop and ask him? And most of these scams are that. There's a book, and it gets back to the times that we're living in right now, people. We really need to wake up, and we need to look at what's going on around us. There was a book written about the housing bubble that I just talked about. Actually, there's a lot of books written about it. What I like about this one particular book is it's not a guy saying, I saw it coming. There's all these books where they all say, I saw it coming. No, you're a liar. You didn't. Okay? You didn't. Because you would have written the book before, not after. Okay? I want to see the guys that wrote the book before. So this book is called The Big Short. They made a movie out of it. I can't remember. The movie was made in like 2015 or something. Anyway, they made a movie. Huh? No, Wall Street's another one. But Wall Street's a totally different topic. This is The Big Short. This specifically talks about the housing bubble and what led up to the housing bubble. So the man wrote the book about it, but it was more written as what happened. This guy's not taking any credit for knowing anything. He didn't. He just wrote a book. But in it, he talks about the people that did see it coming. And how do you know they saw it coming? Because they invested their own money in it. So it talks about Mark Bond, who was the largest short holder in the housing bubble. I mean, he put, I can't remember how much money he put in, but at the end of the day, he made like $2 billion at the end of the day, something like that. Well, he didn't personally, his firm did. And then there were others, okay, that saw it. And in the Big Short, it talks about these three groups of men that saw it was coming and what they went through. Because it wasn't like they just invested this money and sat back and waited. I mean, these guys literally went through hell. I mean, literally their personal lives. I mean, they were attacked. And then after, I mean, the IRS came after them. The DOJ came after them. Everybody came after. It's a whole story. But in the book, Mark Bond is speaking in front of this committee or this group of peers, and he makes this comment, and this has stuck to me since I've read it. It's just stuck with it because it really defines the time we're in. And this was in 2008. He said this. He said, we live in an era of fraud in America, not just in banking, but in government, in education, in religion, in food, even baseball. What bothers me isn't that fraud is not nice or that fraud is mean. For 15,000 years, fraud and short-sighted thinking have never, ever worked. Not once. Eventually, you get caught. Things go south. When did we forget all that? I thought we were better than this. I really did. And while I like telling Wall Streeters that they're wrong, at the end of the day, it's regular people that are going to pay for all this. Because they always, always do. So you can say, I didn't have any money in cryptocurrency. I don't, I saw it. but you did and didn't even know it. The Canadian, the Ontario, specifically Ontario Teachers Fund, had almost $100 million of their teachers' funds retirement money in FTX. That money is now gone, like zero, nothing. Because there's no asset, so they filed bankruptcy. There is no asset to go after. When GM filed bankruptcy, the federal government bailed them out. That was Obama had just become president. So that was in 2012, 13, GM goes bankrupt. Their stock went down to like $1. And then all of a sudden, government bailed them out, and they made all those ridiculous electric cars that really were kind of useless, but government agencies had to buy them. So every college campus security guard now was driving a Chevy Volt. But the government bailed them out. So whether that's good or bad, history will tell. So when they go bankrupt, there are assets. There are real things that the creditors can go for. If you had GM bonds, which I know a man that had a lot of GM bonds, they owed him that money. He was number one in line, him and all the other people that own bonds, billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of these bonds. He was the first. They're the first in line to get paid. Second in line to get paid, creditors. Third in line to get paid, shareholders, stockholders. But there's actually something there. There's assets, there's equipment, there's buildings, there's machinery, there's inventory, there's accounts receivables, there's car lots with millions of GM cars that are going to be sold, and that money's going to come in, and these people will get paid. Okay. In this FTX, in this cryptocurrency exchange, there is nothing. They're called tokens. What is a token? They're worthless. They have no value, and there aren't any in there. There is no real cash left. They spent it all. Let's go ahead and take a break. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9.
Satisfy that growl in your tummy with a delicious hamburger, garden salad, specialty hot dog, or a beef dog from Jesse James Railroad Express. On Tuesdays, get a regular hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions for only 99 cents. That's 99 cents Tuesdays only. Then on Wednesday, enjoy the Carolina burger. And then treat your sweet tooth with a refreshing milkshake or hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Tuesday through Saturdays, 11 to 5, closed Sunday and Monday. Jesse James Railroad Express at 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Call ahead at 447-4644. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express, and these hours also apply to the Chow Hound in the Park Lane Plaza.
I want to tell you about another great local business, Forest City Concrete and Grading. Call Sean at 828-447-5949. Sean is a licensed general contractor. He can do your job from site development to completion. That's Forest City Concrete and Grading. Call Sean at 828-447-5949 and tell him Gilbert Talks Taxes sent you.
This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9. On the air, I was on the phone with somebody because my question is, am I really getting it across? Are people getting it? Now he happens to know quite a bit about this, so he might not have been a good person to call. But Lou just mentioned in the break before that, yeah, I was right. The election took up all the bandwidth on this. It took it all up. This happened, and no legacy media picked it up, or not at the level that they could have. As a matter of fact, so it was just being picked up on the internet by like CoinDesk and, these, which are gigantic websites where all, us technology people go to see what's happening in that space. You want to know what's happening with crypto, you go to CoinDesk. And there's others, but that's like the big one, And they're standing there shocked. And I'm going, why are you shocked? We gave $16 billion to a child. He lost it. Everybody's acting all surprised. So that's the nutshell of it, is we gave $16 billion to a child, a man named Sam Bankman Fried, Fried, F-R-I-E-D, Fried. They call them SBF because I guess if you're really, what's the word that they use now? If you're really hip, you've got initials like AOC and yeah, I guess that's the new thing, right? You got to have initials. My initials are GMC, so everybody will think they're talking about a car, so that just won't go over. So everybody, thank you for laughing at that. So he was a child. I mean, he's 25 years old, living with a bunch of other children in the Bahamas. Like, at what point, I'm going to get back to the scripture I just shared about being deceived. At what point does everybody go, okay, there's some red flags with this? Now, much like what I shared about earlier with the housing shortage, now all these investors are coming out, including Elon Musk, and saying, you know, something felt wrong about this. Why did you give this guy $200 million? One investor gave him $200 million. And he said the whole time we were in a meeting, he was playing a video game. The whole time we were in the meeting, he's playing video games. Because I think that was part of his whole, like, image. You know, he wore shorts and T-shirts, and he's a billionaire.
I'm cool, I'm hot.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. You know, he lives in the Bahamas, so that's what they wear it on. It's like formal wear in the Bahamas is a T-shirt and shorts. So he's walking around like that, and $16 billion, and this guy, okay, I wasn't going to go there, but I'm going to go there. So for those of you who tuned in, hello, this is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB. I didn't come back, did I? AM 590 FM 100.9. Those of you live streaming, www.wcab59.com, and I'm wearing my vintage bow tie today in honor of 1929, actually. This is how they would have dressed in 1929 with a nice bow tie on. I am a financial planner. I am an enrolled agent. I prepare tax returns. I give all kinds of advice, a business consultant. If you need to reach me, my telephone number is 828-289-9300. Those of you picking me up later on the podcast, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate all your comments and your calls. Again, I am going to focus on taxes here in a little bit, but this story is just huge. So as we were at the break, Lou had said, yes, the bandwidth, the election took up a lot of it. But the other thing is people don't understand it. So let me, what am I talking about for those of you that just tuned in? FTX, the second largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, is bankrupt, wiped out. They'll never know the exact number, or at least they don't know right now. Anywhere from $10.5 billion to $26 billion have disappeared. Gone. Where is it? They're arguing that money was never really there, that it was crypto, fake, fiat, on a spreadsheet, tokens that really had no value. How much cash is there? Initially the auditors were thinking they were going to find $991 million. But right now they can't find anything. So let me give you the timeline. So this company's been around for about 4 years now. He was connected with Binance, which is the largest cryptocurrency exchange. And let me take it even one step earlier than that, or before that. What is cryptocurrency? For the last 3 weeks, I've been talking about digital virtual currency is what the government calls it, virtual currency. Then you break it down. You have digital currency, cryptocurrency. People a lot of times call it Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is actually one type. You have Doji, Ethereum, Tether. It goes on and on and on and on. There are something like 180,000 of them, but there's only 6 or 7 that are called stablecoin. Litecoin is one of them. They're called stablecoin. Solana was on the list. I don't know if it is anymore. Solana was a FTX product, so I don't know where it is right now. But you have these ones that are called stablecoin. Okay, well, those are the stablecoins. So there's several ways you do these transactions when you buy these cryptocurrency, this virtual currency. You can either have what's called a cold wallet. A cold wallet is basically, and again, I'm technology people that are going to listen to this later are like rolling their eyes up at me right now. Okay, I'm just trying to explain it to the average person because the average person does not understand this. I mean, the average journalist doesn't understand it. Listen to some of the news reports that initially came out. They're all kinds of technical things. They're saying things wrong. They're saying things they don't understand, and they don't understand. That's the problem. So I'm really speaking at it like at a, you know how there's 100 level? Okay, so I'm like level like 96. Okay, like 096 if we were in college. This is an 096 class. There's a thing called a cold wallet. A cold wallet, they look like a jump drive, you know, your typical little USB jump drive, and they are. You plug them into a computer because somehow this virtual thing, this digital thing, you got to be able to see it. So it jumps. It looks like a jump drive. Some of them are shaped like a key. Some of them are shaped like a jump drive. They're very small, and they're encrypted, and you have the password to de-encrypt it. Okay? Now, you can actually physically hold your cryptocurrency in a cold wallet, which Elon Musk came out yesterday, day before yesterday, and said he's advising everybody to get their money off of any exchange, okay, and have it in a cold wallet. That's his advice. So, okay, I'm not getting into that part. That's beyond my expertise. So you have either in this cold wallet or you have it in an exchange. And in the exchange, you get to transfer it, you get to use it, you get to buy it, sell it. And that's where all the action really happens when you're exchanging. There's no geographical boundaries to this. It's on the internet. It's on servers. Somewhere in server land, wherever these servers are, is where these virtual currencies reside. What is it based on? Nothing. That's the problem. Supposedly, it's based on a blockchain algorithm. People that mine it are creating, solving, and combining these blockchain algorithms. Again, I'm keeping this real low level, real basic. They're doing this, and there are people mining it. And, of course, everybody's making millions of billions of zillions of dollars. Everybody. Right? I haven't met a person yet who's lost money with crypto. Well, I did last week. Or I have this week. There are people are coming out saying, what does this mean for taxes? And I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into that in the next section. What does this mean for taxes? Because this has a huge tax implication. And I'm getting to it. But before that, everybody was making money. Okay, well, no. For you to mine it, for you to get on the internet and get these coins, you know, there's two ways to get them. You can either mine it or you can buy it, or you can exchange it. You know, you can actually sell somebody something and they can pay you in crypto. It's scammers. It's their second favorite way to get paid is cryptocurrency. You can pay them in crypto or you can pay them in gift cards. For some reason, they all want to get paid in gift cards or wire transfers, you know, but they'll take crypto all day long. So you go to an exchange and you have to take money because ultimately you have to take money and convert it into this virtual currency. Now, or some people mine it, and to mine it, you just don't use a laptop or a computer. You need very sophisticated, very specific equipment to do it, and it is not cheap. And the electricity to run this equipment is not cheap. This costs money to do. So there is no such thing as free. But that's the way some people are preferring to do it. Okay, fine, they're doing it. So the money sits, or not the money, but the cryptocurrencies sit in these exchanges. FTX was the second largest exchange. And people were giving them money like they were actually buying something. And they weren't. By the way, I said we trusted children. This is a theme I'm seeing over and over again. You know, Germany right now is in a major, major energy crisis. And Donald Trump warned them. There's videos online of Donald Trump telling the German delegation at the UN that they're too dependent on Russian fuel and that they better get energy independent. And there's videos of them laughing at Donald Trump. Well, they're not laughing today. They're having a major energy shortage over there. Their prices are going through the roof. And one of the German delegates said, we based our energy policies after we listened to a child. He was specifically referring to Greta Thunberg. That's the 16 or 17-year-old, I don't know how old she is now, she may be 18 or 19, the young girl who gets hysterical and screams at people and tells them to stop using fossil fuels. And somehow she's a green activist. No, she's a child that was just yelling at adults, telling them what she thought they should do. Well, they listened to her. And now they're having to go back and fire up all these old coal plants, or they're going to freeze this winter in Germany. The other one is, I think about that Elizabeth Holmes, which she got sentenced yesterday. Now, she's 38 years old now, but when she started her scam, she was in her 20s. You know, she just got sentenced yesterday. Yeah, because she started in 2003. So that she was like 19. She was 16. Yeah, she was 19. She was a CEO when she was like 22. She got sentenced yesterday to 11 years in jail. So there is justice. Because I get disappointed and I get discouraged when I see these people get away with these things. And my wife always tells me, see why God gave me a good wife? Yeah, well, no, she always tells me, vengeance is mine, says the Lord, and he will repay. And he says, Gilbert, it's going to be in this life or the next. And I hope it's in this life, because in this life, you have an opportunity to get it right and repent for what you did. I mean, I don't care how bad what you did, but you can always repent. But there is a point where it's going to be too late. So Elizabeth Holmes, she was another one. She was 18, 19-year-olds, and she frauded people out of I don't even know how much. Well, I mean, she's an amateur compared to this other guy. This guy, Sam Bankman-Fried. And by the way, I'll take a break on this one. This is public record. Because they're looking now to see what did he do with these billions of dollars. Where did this money go? They've appointed a person, a CEO, who's the same guy that did Enron. I forget his name, but he's the same guy that stepped in to dismantle Enron and find out what was going on here. I'll get his name in the break, but he's the guy the court appointed to step in. He's like a court appointed. This guy's like over the top. He's a genius. 40 years he's been doing this. He is an expert. The bankruptcy court in Delaware appointed him to come in. They said, oh, by the way, John, are you busy this weekend? We need you. And so they've appointed him to come in, and he said he's never seen anything like it. So they're trying to find out what happened to the money, and this came out. This guy, this Sam Bankman-Fried, was Joe Biden's second largest donor. He gave Joe Biden $5.2 million. And in this last election cycle that we just got over with, this guy gave over $40 million to Democrat candidates. Let's take a break. This is WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes.
A good sign is good business. Make your business stand out with a professional sign from Dia Signs and Graphics. Successful companies all over the United States trust the team at Dia Signs and Graphics. With 25 years of professional experience, we have the ability to present your company's image in the best light. Not only display signs, but Dia Signs and Graphics can print banners of all sizes. If you need magnetic signs or window and vehicle graphics, call on Dia Signs and Graphics today. We offer a full line of sign products for any event. 3D, sandblasted, storefront, and monument signs are just a part of a complete selection of quality signage. Professional signs and banners to fit any budget. Let your business stand out. Call Dia Signs and Graphics today at 286-4900 or stop by the sign shop located on Main Street in downtown Spindale and check our website for more suggestions at diasignsandgraphics.com.
Hi, this is Christy. Gilbert and I are excited to announce our new name and location. Carmona Financial Consultants at 704 Oak Street in Forest City. Let us help you with your taxes. Let us help you with your investments. Carmona Financial Consultants at 704 Oak Street in Forest City. Stop by or give us a call at 828-289-9300.
We are back. Well, that was a quick break. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes. WCAB AM 590, FM 100.9. Those of you live streaming, www.wcab59.com. Thank you for tuning in. We just were talking during the break about Elizabeth Holmes, another child. Her attorneys were asking for 18 months, but the prosecutor was asking for 15 years, and her probation officer who interviewed her, who said she still doesn't get it. She's saying she's the victim. She's the victim, and she's the one that was done wrong, and she shouldn't be even, why she doesn't even understand why she's being charged, why this is even happening to her. He said she should get 9 years. She's unrepentant and absolutely does not understand the grief and the problems she has caused to the investors who believed her lies. But again, why do you believe these people? Why do you think a screaming child has let's change our entire energy policy because a 16-year-old told us to? And this guy, when he started all this, he was 20. And the implications of this are huge. He, like I said earlier, he sponsors, there's a sports stadium called FTX Arena. And I forget, I'm not even, they're scrambling. They're scrambling for a new name down there. It looks like American Airlines might they don't know yet. It's scrambling. I mean, this is major. It's Miami-Dade County. Miami has released the following statement. They got to rename this arena, FTX Arena. He's sponsored, like I said, the Grand Prix, Mercedes and Ferrari. And now they're stuck in Brazil without a sponsor. I mean, he's supposed to be paying like for things, the laundry list of celebrities and athletes and businesses. This is the tip of the iceberg. The thing is, most of you are hearing about it from me for the first time, or at least even got an explanation, or I'm trying to give you an explanation without talking over your head, because that's what's happening on most of these TV shows. They're talking way over people's heads. People don't even understand what a blockchain is. And they don't even understand it. How do I know that? Because of the things they're saying, because I do understand it, and the things they're saying, it's like, no, you're like totally wrong. Now, there are people that have money in this. What are you going to do? Well, the whole reason I even started talking about cryptocurrency, virtual currency on the air 3 weeks ago was because the IRS has been trying to get their hands around it. What they're trying to get their hands around is how to tax it. And there's people, like somebody that has been texting me, has said, well, the government's trying to get us off of the dollar and into digital currency. Well, let me tell you something. Every time you use your credit card, you're using digital currency. Okay, let's just establish that. So everybody just realize that we're already using digital currency. When's the last time you paid cash for something of any substance? When's the last time you went and bought an appliance, stuck your hand in your pocket, and took out $1,200 in cash and paid for it? Okay? So we're already in the digital world. So this is the government's, people tell me, this is the government's way to control it. I'm like, no, that was like 15 years ago. We're beyond that. Credit cards are now ubiquitous. They are, and if you doubt me, go to a grocery store right now, and when you get, because I still do pay cash for things. When you get, they'll tell you, $55.33, and you give them $60. They look at you with this rabbit in the headlights look, like, what am I supposed to do with this? I saw at one retail operation. I gave the lady my money. She turns to she looked like I was probably the second person that day to give her money. She looked at it like, what do I do with this? And you know it because they point to the little machine. That's where you swipe your credit card. I said, let me give you cash. Her eyes got big. And I gave her the $60, and she puts in 60, and the computer screen showed her a picture of like 3 $1 bills, 2 quarters, a dime, and a nickel that she was to give me as change. She literally looked at the screen and took out 3 $1 bills, okay, took out 2 quarters, took out a nickel, and took out a dime, and compared it to what was on the screen and handed it to me. Yeah, I know. Lou's looking at me like, no, this is true story. This happened to me not that long ago. They can't even count the money back. When they get it back to you, it's all balled up. They don't know. We are in a digital society. We're already there. So what's happening is the government, the IRS, has been trying to figure out virtual currency, specifically cryptocurrency. They don't even understand it. Okay? Because this is this thing that's happened out there, independent of these governments. You know, and most of it is fraudulent. Most of it's fake. That's the thing. But people are putting their faith in it. And it's going to collapse. It's collapsing. It just collapsed. Okay? And, you know, crypto took a big hit 6 months ago, 7 months ago. I was in the middle of tax season. I only followed it cursory. Again, I don't have any investments in it, and none of my clients do that I handle have any investments in it. So there's no need for me to stay up in real time. You know, what's a Doji coin worth? I don't know. I don't need to know. I don't care. But I knew that it had collapsed, and it never kind of got back. It was in free fall there for a while. It kind of stabilized a little. And now these coins, they claim to be stable coins. They're not stable. Anyway, so it created this vacuum, and these guys filled it in. But so people are saying, well, the government's trying to control it. No, the IRS has been trying to figure out for about 3 years now how to tax it, how to get their hands around it so they can tax it. Got nothing to do. They don't want to control it. They can't control it, but they can tax it. And that's big, because remember what I said? I've said it twice on the program. Everybody that's bought cryptocurrency has made $1 million, billion, zillion dollars. Right? I invented a word called frillion. It's $1 trillion. They've all got $1 trillion. Nobody loses money. They've all made money. So the IRS is like, well, everybody's making all this money. How do we get our part of it? So what they came up with is they're going to treat it like stock. It's like a stock transaction. You buy a share of stock, you sell a share of stock. You bought it for $1, you sold it for $2, you're going to pay a $1 capital gain. You're going to pay tax on $1 of capital gain. That's what they've settled on. So last tax return, the 2021 tax return, and it's been growing. In 2020 they asked, you know, it's getting a little more, the questions are getting a little bigger and more defined. In 2021 they asked the question, did you buy, trade, sell, or otherwise convert any cryptocurrency or virtual currency, they call it, virtual currency. Did you buy, sell, trade any virtual currency? And then even in the definitions, it talks about or otherwise convert. Did you use? Did you accept or receive cryptocurrency? Did you get it as a gift? All that's in the instructions. So people that do their own tax returns just ignore it. I didn't, because I knew this was an important question, and I would ask you, well, now the IRS is sending letters to people that didn't answer that question, and they're asking them about cryptocurrency, and people are just panicking, or people that have gotten this letter are panicking, and they're like, what does this mean? What do I do? They're calling me. Nothing, just answer the question. They don't want to know about your transaction. The answer is yes or no. Did you or not? Now, if you bought some and you sold it and you made a profit, you've got a capital gain. Or you traded it or you used it. Okay, remember. Now, if you bought some and you lost money, and this is what I'm going to finish the program with, all these people that lost money are going to get a huge tax write-off. Remember what I said, this is going to affect all of us. Here's how it's going to affect all of us. And it's going to affect all of us in a big way. So all these people that have been buying cryptocurrency, that you bought cryptocurrency, and I've never talked to anybody that's put millions into it, but I've talked to people that have put tens of thousands into it, and I think couple of 100,000 is the biggest I personally have dealt with. Again, I'm not trading it, so that kind of person's not on the phone with me talking to me. But I've heard, and I know people that are dealing with people that are putting millions into it. So now you had your money sitting with this fine example of a scammer, Samuel Bankman-Fried, and you gave him $1 million. Today you have nothing. That is a capital loss. You've lost this money. This is going to go on your tax return. Okay? Now, it's not that simple. There's other things too. We can write off capital gains against capital losses. The bottom line is It's the taxpayer, the American taxpayer in this country, that's going to bear the brunt of a lot of this. How much time do I have left, Miss Lou? About a minute. Okay, I got a minute left. So, scams. This is just one scam. There's other scams. There's a company that called me that they were going to wire $4,000. It's a scam. They knew it, but they overrode it. There's also letters. Some of the seniors have been reaching out to me right here in Rutherford County, that they're getting a letter from Social Security, which is a scam, saying that their Social Security account's been hacked and their Social Security card has been made inactive. There is no such thing. Please disregard that. It's all a scam. Stop and ask yourself, what is this thing I'm holding in my right hand? Is it a lie? And just go with that thing that small, still voice is telling you. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9. I will be back next Saturday. Lou, I will be here live. I'll see everybody then.
And won a death penalty case against a gang member who killed 2 NYPD detectives. At the Justice Department, he handled cases that targeted elected officials, including one that he dropped for lack of evidence against former Republican Congressman Tom DeLay.
Western New York getting hammered by a pre-winter snowstorm that's already piled up to 5.5 feet of snow on the ground in just 48 hours. ABC's Matt Rivers in Buffalo this morning.
Overnight, around 4 a.m., the National Weather Service here in Buffalo sent out a tweet saying that at the Buffalo International Airport, by 4 a.m., already a daily record set in terms of measured snowfall at the airport. Between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m., nearly 14 inches of snow fell. It's a rate of about 3.5 inches per hour.
New York's governor, who's from Buffalo, issuing a state of emergency. With Thanksgiving just days away, doctors once again urging vulnerable individuals to think twice about attending big holiday gatherings. ABC's Elwin Lopez on the alarming surge in respiratory illnesses.
We're seeing hospitals getting hit harder and earlier than usual. The last time we saw hospitalizations this high this early in the season was more than a decade ago. More than half of the country, including New York City and D.C., are now reporting high or very high levels of influenza-like activity.
On an unannounced by UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak to Ukraine, meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky and confirming continued UK support in Ukraine's war with Russia. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right, and when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
The decision for the World Cup to be hosted by Qatar this year called into question once again during a briefing today. Gianni Infantino, president of the Federation of International Football Association, defended the 2010 decision to allow the Middle Eastern country to provide the location for this year's tournament, saying it's not FIFA's job to tell Qatar how to run its country.
If we were to exclude all the countries who have discriminatory laws or other human rights problems, who are playing football only, maybe you and me. Maybe.
So critics have called the location of the World Cup sports washing, saying that these internationally celebrated tournaments have legitimized countries accused of human rights issues and abuses. And a day before the World Cup's to begin, Qatar reversing itself, saying beer will not be allowed to be sold in stadiums. New details about the fatal knife attack on 4 college roommates in their home near the University of Idaho last Sunday. The coroner saying the killer stabbed the victims with a large knife several times as they were sleeping. ABC's Mola Lengi has more.
The FBI also involved in the investigation, which includes questioning students, potential witnesses who have since returned to homes in other states. With fears growing in the community, some students leaving campus early this week ahead of the Thanksgiving break.
Police are still searching for a suspect. This